Now I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking to you about when to use your boots and how to use them in a day-to-day environment. So as we talked about earlier, always start on setting 1 with your cold packs to get your horse used to the boots. The reason for that, as I said, is that it's a form of exercise, so it's important to let the horse's legs get used to it. So once you've got through that setting 1 stage and you're in competition during the season and you're using them just day to day, a good routine to get into is when you come in from a lesson or road work or quite strenuous exercise, put your boots on, use setting 2 and do your 20 minutes. If it's a couple of days after competition and you feel that there's quite a bit of puffiness in the legs, you can use them 2 or 3 times a day with the cold pack, setting 2, for that week until you feel that the legs are the bruising is starting to be reduced and come out of their legs. So that's a good thing to use. It's really important, as I said earlier, that 2-week window between events or a week that you really use your boots regularly to try and get rid of any of that soreness and reduce the tension in their tendons to allow good blood flow back into their legs to heal the damage. So we need to take the focus a little bit off the day of the event and then really work on that week, 10 days, 2 weeks between events to really look after their legs. And you can do that by using the boots, setting 2 with the cold packs once or twice a day. If you are building up to the competition season and it's just day-to-day use, it's a good idea to put them on, setting 1 or setting 2 while you're tacking up without the cold packs and use them for warm-up. So you can use them before exercise without the cold pack, setting 2. You can use them after exercise with the cold pack, setting 2. You don't have to do it every day, but if you can try and use them 3 to 4 times a week, it's always a good idea to give them a day off them a week, and again really focus those few weeks between events getting any stiffness and soreness out of those legs. That's a good maintenance program to follow. Now if your horse has had a problem, we get a lot of questions as well about horses with tendon injuries. It's a massive problem in the equine industry. A good program to use for horses that have had tendon injuries, they might have a slight bow, there could be some tearing, is to wait, say 48 hours, 3 days, to let it settle down a little bit. A week if it's a severe injury, again talk to your veterinarian about it. It's very important to start on setting 1 with the cold packs. I always would recommend that you do about 3 or 4 days on setting 1 with the cold packs. I know it's only 10 minutes, but if you have an injury, it's important not to overwork it. Once you realise that you're starting to get a little bit of reduction in any swelling, you can then go on to setting 1 with the cold packs twice a day. Remember, less is more. You have to be really patient. So then once you increase to setting 1 twice a day with the cold packs, you might stay at this for a week to 10 days. And again, if the swelling's starting to go down and you're happy with it, again consult your vet. You can then increase to setting 2. Setting 2 with the cold packs will be your main setting now for about 8 weeks with the cold pack twice a day. The reason for this is there is that inflammatory period that you just want to keep working the inflammation out of it. You're stimulating repair, you don't want to overwork the injury, and so we need to use it with the cold packs. Once you get to that sort of 10 to 12 week stage after an injury, you can then introduce a treatment without the cold packs, but start on setting 1 again. Less is more again. So you might use setting 1 with no cold packs before hand walking or exercise or turnout, and then when they come back in, go back to your cold packs and your boots on setting 2. People tend to think that if they've had a tendon injury, maybe it's 3 months treatment or 6 months treatment. It's really an 18-month window you're looking at. So I would always say to people, stay using your boots quite intensively for 12 months, and then you might go back to sort of the 3 to 4 days a week through the 18 months. But once a horse has had an injury like that, you should always use the boots for the rest of their career, because they had so much scar tissue, and that scar tissue will continually be breaking down, and you need to stay on top of the inflammation that creates. Another way you can use the Ice Vibe boots is actually without the cold packs. Now we're always using the cold packs after exercise if there's any heat, if there's any sprain or swelling, to get the horse's legs used to it, and after exercise, always use with the cold packs. But the other way you can use them is without the cold packs before you ride them. And that's just a matter of putting the boot on without your cold pack, and the same process. Button down for 3 seconds to turn on, and then press once more for setting 2. Now you can do this even while you're tacking up. I know we're all short of time, but it's a really good routine to get into, to pop the boots on while you're saddling up, reduce the tension in the tendon ligament and allow that blood flow down into the leg, make that tendon elasticy, and to help prevent damage. It's also ideal for horses that might be standing in stables or have had tendons in the past, in the afternoon and the evening, just to put the boots on for a massage treatment to really keep things moving out of the legs. Horses standing in stables, it's hard on them, it's not natural to them, the circulation is reduced, so it's really important that we really help them to keep that blood flow going down through the feet and around the legs, again, to help repair damage. So now we're going to talk about when not to use your boots. It's really important not to use your boots if your horse has been diagnosed with a fracture. The reason for that is that the bone will have parted and you need the bone to close, and the massage could affect the closing of the bone and it can make them very sore. So it's important not to use your boots during the time of a fracture or if you've got a fresh splint. If your horse has had this problem, always wait 10 to 12 weeks before you use it, and if you're unsure, please always consult your vet. The other time when you don't use your boots is during the time of an infection. Again, the reason for this is if you're increasing circulation and you have a fracture, then you could also create a problem and spread the infection. This also includes not using it with any pins in their legs or screws. We recommend not using it then. Again, if you have any queries or any doubts or any issues, please always consult your veterinarian and discuss it with them before using the boots. If you have any questions directly related to the boots, you can go on our website, www.icevibe.com, or you can email me directly at icevibe@horseware.com.